Hello, 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 and welcome to a bonus episode of the Cooler Guild. I'm your host, Coop, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host, Van.
Hello.
We are recording on July 30th, 2024. On today's episode, we'll be discussing Reign's all too common heartbreaking loss and cover all the women's soccer drama and controversy this week at the Paris Olympics. But first, we have some housekeeping to take care of.
The Cooler Guild is part of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. You can either listen to us on our public feed, or if you're a Sounder at Heart subscriber, on the public unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at sounderatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. New subscribers get 10% off the normal rate, and you'll help support everything we're doing here at the podcast.
Get on it. We've got a full 3 paid subscribers now. It's growing.
We're growing.
Every episode it's growing.
Do we want to talk about the game?
Well, I do want to talk about the game. I will say I am glad there's a lot of other things that happened. So we don't have to just focus on that. I mean, these are bonus episodes, and I don't know how like my expectations were for the Summer Cup were anyways. But yeah, you want me to dive into a match recap right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
On Sunday afternoon, the Reign played Club Tijuana in the second game of the Summer Cup group stage. Tijuana came out early and scored in the second minute. Not great. Heard this tale before.
Usually it's in the second half, though.
Yeah, or like quick restart, whatever. Not immediately when the game starts. Reign were able to regroup, but only until the 40th minute when Solorzano struck again. Reign came back. They did come back in the second half, thanks to two goals by 2 rookies. So we like that. Adames and Mercado got on the score sheet. It did seem like the Reign might escape with a point, but guess what? They conceded a goal in the 84th minute from, who was it once again?
Solorzano.
And that mean that she ended on a hat trick for the day, and the Reign left with another disappointing loss. I mean, their first loss of this Summer Cup, but I don't think a team that, they got beat, like, how bad did they get beat by the Thorns?
5-0.
5-0, and we lost
3-2.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
And they've been switching up their lineup like crazy.
Which is the time to do that. So I'm not.
No, I'm talking about Tijuana.
Oh, Tijuana?
Yeah, but we were too.
I was like, we were too.
Yeah. Some notable stats that I had from the game. The possession. The Reign had 62% possession. Tijuana had only 38%. And it needs to be more productive.
This is what always happens, right? We seem to have the ball, and then we just don't make the most of our opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Or their opportunities aren't that good.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of shots. Once again.
17 total shots, 9 on target.
Oh my God. And then the goal that we did get from Adames was just like a banger, just a complete banger. So like,
yeah, I got a Yahoo News alert about it.
Yeah, that's not like I mean, I would love it if that was a repeatable and like kind of goal that you could make happen every single match, but that's not like, I don't know, it's not really what I look at in the team and get like inspired by, that we're gonna keep this kind of momentum up.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit about like when King scores.
Yeah,
it's usually just like a banger.
Yeah,
it can be so sporadic, and it's like, ugh. But I will say she did look like, at least in the first half, she was the most dangerous player on the field.
Which, if you got a shot, take it. I'm not like, and if you got the skill, do it. I'm not like mad about that by any means. It would just be nice if that was one goal and like we had more goals that were like part of the sequence of something, and it wasn't just like a brilliant moment from somebody.
Yeah, maybe one of the other 9 shots on target.
Maybe that'd be nice.
But Mercado scored a goal. Yeah, and she had an assist in her first appearance.
That's a big positive from this match.
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't seen her literally at all. So in these draft picks, we get these like lower draft picks, and it's just like, are you ever gonna see them on the field? I have no idea. So I guess it's nice to have the Summer Cup, because it's probably the only opportunity she would really get, barring some like crazy injuries or something like that. And she made the most of it, I would say.
I'd say so. As far as positives go, was there anything else?
I think that's about it. I think that might be all we got. I mean, it was just like, there's so many different players we had going on, right? But like the same kind of shit going on still.
Yeah, I would say like it's kind of like a positive, but also negative, that we created a ton of chances. but it's a negative that we couldn't finish most of them.
Mm.
So it's just rough.
I guess going into the negatives because there really isn't much more to bring up. We'll see how they look the next game, but it just like to me, I don't see a path for us probably out of this stage now or this group now, and that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, well, the way that the tournament works, it's there's 5 groups and only 4 advance. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
Portland did lose, so
yeah, everybody's on a loss
yeah.
in the group.
So maybe we'll have like the weakest group though. I have no idea.
I don't know. I need to talk about the first goal that was scored against us.
Yeah.
Ball comes through. Julia Lester is just lost in space.
Hate to see it.
And Laurel Ivory comes out for no good reason and is outside the box and is jumping up with her hands up, trying not to get chipped, but also like trying to get a red card. I feel like just not a smart decision. And it was just, you don't want to start the game off like that in the second minute. That's just a confidence crusher for a goalkeeper.
It's definitely, I definitely got questions about what her future will be here.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because she has good skills, good games, but just some of the decision making is questionable for me.
Yeah, I think I'm at that point now with when I watch her, I'm just like always a little concerned.
Yeah, all 3 of these goals kind of came through the back line, and the first one a lot more difficult. It was a good pass. Hard to blame anyone, but when I get on the blame train, it just sticks to everything. Yeah, the second and third goals, when Solarzano's kind of just bobbing and weaving her way through and then getting these nice through balls like into space, in dangerous space, you've got to ask questions about the organization of the back line. It seems like there's a lack of communication. I mean, you've got a literal child playing in the back line who actually played better than the other center back.
Yeah.
Saved a goal for us. But yeah, you gotta wonder, like, does she not know that the players around her? Is she not aware? So like, where's the communication there from Laurel Ivory? Where's the communication with the other? You do put a 17-year-old back there, so you're like, you can't really put that onus on her. I feel like in her first game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any good player should have communication skills in the defense, but you gotta ask questions.
It's just a shame. And obviously you're not gonna start your normal keeper in this tournament because you gotta see what else you got. Especially since we did have an issue with injuries. So I don't fault anyone for that decision or whatever, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's getting a little exhausting when we saw what happened when Laurel was starting for a certain amount of games. We were just letting in lots of goals, a lot of dumb goals too.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are again.
Yeah.
At what point is it a coincidence? It's probably not.
It's not.
I feel like it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
We've got a decent sample size. The thing that I'm bummed about is Leicester not having a good game.
Yeah. I mean, she played so well in the last game, but then again, you put her in, she's paired with an inexperienced player. It makes it difficult. So I don't know. It's hard with this tournament and the amount of players that are getting playing time that have never played together before, or have very limited minutes to really assess like what happened.
It's also, we're playing a team we've never played. It's a league we don't really play often, right? It's only happened a few times. You can try to come up with a plan, but that's not gonna always work out how you think just because you don't know what this opponent is really like until you play them.
Yeah, and I didn't watch their game against Portland, so I don't know.
It sounded like they switched stuff up. Don't quote me on that, but
yeah, they switched a lot of players. I saw Susie posted something about how they had like a completely different starters or something.
Yeah, they could have studied the Portland game, but obviously there's something different. I think that's just something that the Reign at this point don't have. I don't know. They just don't have like the players to be dealing with like that kind of change and like seeing it and adjusting. Again, that's what they're playing these players to figure out what they have and everything. So I don't expect them to be able to adapt that quickly to an opponent like that. And to be fair, they did get back in the game.
Yeah, I mean that could be a positive. They fought back from being down 2-0.
That's the rain thing. That's like our whole thing is fighting back.
The MO.
Just be nice if we wouldn't give up. I mean, it also didn't seem like a tie would have been enough out of this either. So now we just really closed the door, I would say, on this tournament by getting the loss.
Yeah, depends on what happens elsewhere, you know.
I know. I'm not, well,
It's not over till it's over. Cautious optimism, Coop.
yeah, but we're going to Portland.
Well, stranger things have happened.
To be fair, they're not looking too good without some other Olympians.
And no, they're not. Nope.
So who knows what'll happen, I guess. I guess you're right. I'll give you that one. We've got a lot to cover. This rain game, a bummer. We've also got the last match that we're gonna make an episode for, and then another Olympics game to cover. So do you want to go into the cooler play of the match now?
Yeah, let's just do it.
This week, our cooler player of the match is Maddie Mercado. Ding ding.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You have to.
You have to. Yeah. A goal and an assist in her first
professional appearance.
I know. Incredible.
Yeah. That's a very big bright spot in what was otherwise a bummer. And you have to hold on to that, because maybe at this point we're just holding on to the future.
Yeah. So welcome, Maddie Mercado, to the Cooler Player of the Match Hall of Fame.
Other kind of news just around the rain since we last met.
We signed a player.
We did sign a player. Do we figure out how to say her name properly?
I recorded a video. I'm gonna learn French.
I already learned it.
This is Neulia Mondesir. I'm so excited.
Mondesir.
Amazing team.
Mondesir. Mondesir is here.
Mondesir is here.
Whoop whoop. I think this is a good signing. I'm excited about it.
I am too. We need that quick player up front.
The question now is, what happens to the other people in the front? And there's gonna be adjustment for sure, because she hasn't played over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's gonna be like an immediate thing, but maybe it is. I don't know.
No, she's not coming till August. So
well, it's August in 2 days.
Oh shit, it is. I keep thinking August is so far away.
No, this month has flown by. Yeah, so yeah, she'll be here in a couple of days. Did it say what day she's like joining?
Yes, so Mondesir will be joining. The article just says August, pending receipt of her ITC. Which when I've had to do them for players in the W League, it can either take 5 days or it can take 3 weeks. If they've had this in the works, they should have submitted the ITC like 100 years ago. You can't submit the ITC without well, you can, but it's a longer process. But US Soccer will have to reach out to the other club. But she's coming from Montpellier in the French league. So I'm sure that they have a process that's more together than some of the
things
other
you've
professional teams that I've worked with from around the world. So yeah, it shouldn't be too long if US Soccer gets it through. But yeah, I mean, she's looks to be exactly what we need. First Haitian-born player in the league,
which is wild.
Yeah,
I feel like Haiti's looked pretty good when if you've ever caught a game of theirs, they actually look pretty fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a shame we don't have more of them, and maybe this will be the start of more of them in this league. With that said, it means we did have to make room on our roster, and Alana Cook is no longer on the Reign.
Yep.
Got traded to KC, which I feel like was a really good deal for us.
Yeah, and we talked about this a bit on our Cooler Conversations podcast with Mariah Lee.
Mm-hmm. Like, genuinely wish her the best of luck. I hope she gets back to her best. It sounded like Casey needed a center back too, so I'm hopeful that maybe this will be kind of a good opportunity for her just to fill that role and, get back on her good game.
Yeah. I feel the same.
And then other bad news, and Phil kind of opened a spot. Oh god, this sucks so bad. Ryan Brown confirmed ACL.
Yep.
And meniscus.
Yep.
Which is, you said ACL, and then I was like, meniscus. And then with our powers combined, we successfully diagnosed the injury, which is not fun to do.
You could see it on the video when they were yanking on it, that there was too much movement.
Yeah.
Because there's usually a little bit, but yeah, when they're pulling it out like that and you could tell.
Huge loss for the Reign, and there's been rumors of another player. We did talk about this just a little bit, but anyone who didn't listen to our interview, I highly recommend go listening to it, because Mariah's super interesting. She's got a really interesting backstory and everything. So it's a good interview. But we did briefly kind of bring this up as well with Ryan Brown. But that's going to be a huge loss for the Reign.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah. No. And a player that was getting playing time in form you just hate to see it.
Yeah. Couldn't have been worse timing for her. Sometimes stuff like that can kind of motivate you to come back even stronger, hoping that there's no other like hiccups along that recovery process. Because ACLs and at meniscus, that combo's not going to be a fun one.
No, it won't. It will be interesting. It would be interesting to know, like in the backside of everything with the sale and now having the Sounders resources, how that is going to change players' recovery process.
Yeah. That's a good point.
But yeah, we don't know. That'd be a good follow-up question that I'm going to write down.
Good. I think we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Cooler Guild is brought to you by the Doctor's Office, a great little 12-seat bar on Capitol Hill. The owner's a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our first sponsor.
The Doctor's Office is the best place to grab a drink before or after a rain match. I love being welcomed into the bar with their hot towel service right before I order a classic Negroni to sip on.
Check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink. And we're back.
On to the Olympics.
So we thought that following the Canadian national team was going to be very boring. I guess maybe first because that is a whole segment. Before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the US match.
Yeah, which we watched together.
We did.
We went up to the watch party, the Reigns watch party for the game at Rough and Tumble Pub.
Out in Ballard.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool place. I've been there twice now.
That was my first time. Several Reign players were there. They did like a raffle for autographs. It was a fundraiser for a group that
does it's an adoption service.
Agape.
I would say the event was like more centered around Latsko than any of the other players.
Yeah.
She kind of works with Agape regularly and was fundraising for them. Kind of cool though. She got a beer. She did like a collab with a brewery. And so she had her own beer, like a Let's Go Latsko pale ale.
It was actually really good too.
Yeah. Super cool. They had it on tap. This is like they had it fresh there. And then they had some cans you could buy. You could even buy some signed cans if you wanted to. And all the money was going back to Agape. They had shirts, like they got them printed for free. And then all the money they were making from the shirts were going back to Agape as well.
Yeah, it was a really cool event. Got
to meet some people and kind of let people know about our podcast as well. So that doesn't hurt either. Also, Latsko's partner, so hunky. I
know.
He
walked in and I said, that has to be a player's boyfriend.
You did clock it. I was like, I think it's just a photographer guy. And you're like, no. I mean, he was like ridiculously handsome.
Yeah. And this is coming from two lesbians.
Yeah.
When that man walked into the bar, I was like, damn. And he was so sweet. Like we didn't talk to him at all.
No.
But like just that he was interacting with people. Like Latsko was signing shirts using his back as a table.
And he's like really tall, so he's like kind of crouching down a little bit.
Yeah.
And he had like his camera out, like taking photos like of her event, and like he looked like a really sweet man. Good for you, Latsko.
Good for you, Latsko.
Not surprised, but good for her.
Back to the game. So US played. US played Germany. It was going to be their first real test under
Emma Hayes.
It was going to be their first real test under Emma Hayes. I have to say, they look great.
They did look great. They got the goals they needed to get. I would say there were some spots where I maybe would have liked to see more for some players.
Oh, for sure. I guess I'm using great as the scoreline works for us.
This is the kind of scoreline you want to see when you're not playing great, when you have the back history of the US. Like, they're known for just making humiliating teams usually when they're playing really, really well. I wouldn't say this was a full humiliation, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, it was.
Our front three, unreal.
Incredible.
Because Smith was finally back because she was played most of the last game, but she did get subbed out with the injury. I was a little concerned maybe she wouldn't be there with the other two, but she was there. And that front three is just I don't know how you can stop them. I truly don't.
No, the only way you stop them is you don't allow them to get the ball, and then you deal with our really underwhelming midfield.
Yeah, that's the part where I'm like, that part wasn't great. I would say Haran had a better game the first game.
Yeah.
Those, passes that she was getting up, but this game,
she made so many careless passes. I don't know.
Yeah.
My dad coined a term from the first game. He called it horrendous.
Oh my God. You saved that just for me to hear this for the first time, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's a classic Dennis.
That's a classic Dennis. So she made some really horrendous passes.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
she did. They were bad. If it wasn't for our front three making everything for themselves, I mean, because that's what it was. It feel like the front three were doing everything for themselves, which honestly, I don't think you need much more. The goal from Germany, a little rough to watch. Coffee got like a yellow card, right? Like they let advantage play, which is really good from the ref. I was really happy about the way that that was let to go on, especially since she got a card after the goal. Nutmegged Tierna.
Yeah.
Oof. Don't like to see that.
Yeah, she got injured, which is not good. We'll see. The next game coming up is Australia.
We should win that.
Yeah.
I would hope no problem.
That was the game of the weekend, honestly.
That game was like
Bonkers.
60 miles per hour, no defense. Just like zero defense at all. I like was watching the highlights. I was like, oh my God, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever watched in my life.
I watched the whole game.
Oh my
and
God.
I was just like, whoa.
Like watching like indoor or something. I mean, that was crazy. How many goals are just going in left and right.
I mean, Barbara Banda.
I know.
She's played in 5 games in the Olympics. She has 3 hat tricks.
Yeah, that's right. That's ridiculous.
Insane.
Ridiculous.
And there's no way Zambia should be ranked 64th. Well, I would rate them 64th just because of their coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that they're able to get these kinds of, I mean, that's just talent. It's the talents, not the players, not the coach at all. What's happening there? Imagine if they had a good coach.
Yeah.
It's a shame for them because they're gonna. I mean, I guess the way that the knockouts, I feel like a lot of teams can get through though, right? Because the top 2 teams go through, and then like an extra 2 teams after that go through, right?
Yeah, the top 2 third place teams.
Yeah, I just don't know if there's still a path for them, but crazier things have happened.
But Michelle Heyman winning the game for them is just like such a great story. I mean, she's 36 years old, retired from international football, and then comes back once she's still been playing in the A-League, but came back once Kerr got injured.
I didn't realize that.
And has been scoring goals. So shout out to being a 36-year-old striker and winning a game in the 90th minute for your team.
Are you waiting for your call?
No, I'm not.
You're waiting for next time Naylor goes down. Like, who the fuck is that? And why is she like 2 feet tall?
Why is she breathing so hard? All she did was run to the box. That Australia game was insane. Australia, Zambia, and then Spain eked one out.
I watched most of the Brazil Japan game. That was it was hard to watch because I love Marta, but there's something about the Japan team that's just like you can't not root for them.
Yeah.
Brazil got like a ridiculous pass from Marta up the field.
Yeah.
I mean,
no look.
Beautiful, like the best pass you maybe would see all Olympics. So that led to that goal. Japan took a horrible penalty before that, absolutely garbage penalty. And then they got another penalty later, which the penalty kick was still really bad, but the goalkeeper went the wrong way. So it worked out for them. And then like last minute, just keeper wasn't paying attention or something like that, got caught out after a poor pass from the back or whatever it was, and just Japan just like dinked it over the keeper.
Oh, it was an insane shot too.
Yeah it was a nice thing. And then they just panned to Marta with just like her head in her hands, and I was just like, you don't gotta do that.
I know, it's pretty cruel.
I hate when they do that.
Pretty cruel.
I mean, hats off to Japan. They did what needed to be done. And I think there's a chance we might play them next, too.
Yeah, we would play. I think we win Group B. We play the second place team in Group C. Depending on, I think it depends on like who has.
I heard there's a chance we might play them.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't either.
Also, FC Olympia goalkeeper Shu Oba is an alternate for Japan.
Love that.
So
love that.
I will root for them when they're not playing us.
Didn't she get some playing time?
Yeah, she got her first cap.
Nice.
It was, I think it's part of one of their series in early this month.
That's cool. Not many. I mean, there's no other USLW teams in Washington that can say that.
Correct. And we've got 2. We got an alternate on New Zealand too.
It's great.
Shout out Murphy. I want to ask Murphy if she saw the drone.
Okay. Before we get into Drone Gate, we're gonna take another quick break.
Thank you for listening to the Sounder at Heart Podcast Network, which now includes No Sarietes, Lobbing Scorchers, and the Cooler Guild. We've been independent since August of 2023, but need your support to make sure it continues. Although this podcast is free, it's only made possible by your continued support. Memberships start as low as $25 a year, which not only helps make podcasts like this one happen, but also gets you access to everything we produce. If you're able to support us at higher levels, starting at $75 a year, you gain access to a host of other perks, most notably entry into our members-only Discord, where the smartest, funniest, and most engaged commenters share their thoughts and ideas. To find out more, just visit sounderatheart.com and click the subscribe button in the top right corner. Thanks for listening.
And we're back. Let's talk cheating scandal at the Olympics.
What a story. Drama everywhere.
Before the first game was even played.
Wild. Bev Priestman thought she was, just being cool. I'm just going to sit one game out. No, you're suspended 1 year.
Yeah, FIFA went hard on that.
And then assistant, you might get jail time. It's like being held off, but like
Deferred, yeah.
8 months, just like jail time being read in a headline of some kind. Crazy.
Canada was playing New Zealand in the first game, and apparently the second they did the drone twice to watch on their practices, and the second time apparently they reported it and they caught the guy, and I'm just like, Jesus.
How dumb are you? Like, drones are loud.
Yeah.
They're like, anytime I hear a drone outside, I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I'm like, oh, it's a fucking drone. Like, it's always so obvious when you have a drone. And you're first of all, you're at the Olympics. I think there should be a little bit of respect for like what the sanctity of the Olympics are, especially coming in there as defending champions.
Yeah.
Like, that is so rude to do to your players, because you're undermining what they did before by doing this. You're disrespecting them by doing this, because I'm not convinced that the players had anything to do with it, because this apparently has been going on for a very long time.
Yeah, and both the men's and the women's game.
Which was kind of funny, because they were like, this is so un-Canadian. And I would say, like, in my head, like, yeah, Canadians don't cheat. But like the two coaches who were involved possibly in this, not Canadian.
Yeah. So FIFA fined Canadian Federation about $225,000 US, and they docked Canada 6 points before the tournament even started.
Yeah. Which there's a lot of people who think that's unfair. I would say the unfair part to me seems like, why didn't New Zealand get something out of it? Because whether or not the players knew that this was happening, they might maybe have benefited from whatever knowledge was given to them. It's hard to say.
Yeah, you can't make any definitive statements because, the investigation's still ongoing, whatever may or may not come of that. But I think it is harsh on the players to deduct the team points. But at the same time, you can't definitively say that they haven't had some of their success because of information that was gained from this drone footage. Whether or not, most likely they had no clue what was going on, but how your team plans are drawn up, what you're practicing, set pieces, defending set pieces. There's a lot of things that you can gain from footage of another team's practice. But I don't know. It sucks. It sucks all the way around. I wish that we didn't keep having these issues in the game with people who are supposed to be running these programs, coaching them, or in the staff that, whether it's like sexual assault, whether it's drones, it's all just extremely corrupt, and it's terrible.
And Canada's not like, it's not like they have a good track record either, like the Canada Soccer Federation.
No, these players have been trying to fight against their federation for funding and money for years. And then the federation lets them do this through apparently third parties. And just like, it just kind of taints a lot of it for me, especially surrounding Canada.
Which is a bummer, because we've got two of the players that won gold on our team.
Yeah.
And I don't have any doubts that they worked hard, and like they themselves earned those medals, sure. But you can't ignore the fact that, the way that they were coached, because those coaches had the drone footage, whether they were like knew about it or not. It's just impossible to say that, they had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Like they were like, because the coaches were coaching them, and so maybe they weren't privy to the drones, but the coaches were giving them the knowledge that they had from the drones,
Right.
maybe in a secret way.
Yeah, they weren't going to tell them that this is how I got this information. I'm not a good enough coach, so I had to go spy on them. That really what it says to me is that I don't know what I'm doing enough, so I need to
Cheat.
to find a way around it and cheat.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, it's again, you're not putting faith in your players, and that's just super shitty, because now they're probably doubting themselves. I mean, there's some players that are just saying otherwise, like they did their hardest and then this had nothing to do with them, and like they didn't know, whatever. But like,
and yeah, I mean, I do believe that they believe that. But at the same time, I mean, we can like beating a dead horse, but you will never know if you benefited from that information or not.
Exactly. That's where I'm remain frustrated is them acting like
this is like Schrodinger's drone footage. Did you benefit? Did you not? We'll never know.
And I think it's a little reckless to just act like it's fine. Like everything is fine. The results, there was nothing wrong with them. I don't know that I'm like going so far as to say that they should be stripped of their medals. I don't think I'm saying that.
No.
If the coaches get them, then yeah, take them away.
And they did go on, after the sanctions and after sending Priestman and the other two home and the suspensions and the fine, they did come back and win their game in pretty dramatic fashion too.
Yeah.
Which, from a player perspective, and a human perspective, was just kind of like a triumph of sorts. But yeah, the whole thing's a bit tainted for me now.
I feel bad. I mean, I would say anyone who's Canadian, anyone who's followed the national team for Canada, I get why you'd be adamant about saying they're innocent, everything's fine and solid, and I don't see any issues with our results, but it's definitely tainted.
It's easy to be more pragmatic when your fandom is not affected.
Yeah. I think people need to check their bias maybe a little bit and not get upset at people who are viewing this from the outside lens.
Yeah. And also, I would say other way around too, because, we're not cheating as far as we know. So it feels a lot like people that like kept defending like the Thorns organization before the Gates report came out. A bit like that. Obviously, a very, very different situation. I'm not conflating the two,
but there was defenders of it before there's evidence.
Yeah, the fan response seems you'll support something till the end until you find out information. I feel like in this sense, like we found out information pretty quickly.
Like what was it they said like about the men's coach, that they like figured out that they've already figured out he's the common denominator, John Herdman. That was like quotes like in this investigation or whatever that they've been already starting. It's like he's the common denominator. And former players or current maybe players for Canada's men's team like already came out and said that they were in meetings with the footage from drones. So the evidence is there.
Yeah, and they did it to the U.S. men's team too.
Yep.
But the U.S. men's team didn't report it because they had a World Cup bid coming.
Yeah, and they were trying to play nice and not screw that up with Canada Soccer, which is just like kind of ironic, because I feel like, as a fan who watches and keeps tabs of national teams, men and women, I mean, don't watch the men's national team for the U.S. as much, but it has seemed like Canada's been the one on the rise for several years. And now I'm like, well, is there a reason for that? Because it wasn't just the US. There was like multiple countries that have come forward about this. So, and then they also tried to send somebody. Did you hear about that one where they tried to like send someone in to spy on them?
Yeah.
And then he got caught with like the credentials that like weren't valid or whatever to be there. So they didn't just do the drones. They were like fully trying to cheat any way they could get away with.
Yeah. I'm gonna withhold the rest of my judgments until, this whole thing is kind of played out. But I think definitely like this, there's going to be a lot more to come of this.
Yeah.
And I think that I highly doubt that they're the first country to ever do this.
Oh, definitely not.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But it's huge for the game as a whole at the international level.
It's just a bummer, and I feel bad for our players specifically, but that's about where it ends. Where I feel bad.
Yeah, Heidem actually played pretty well in their last game.
Yeah. Like that. I would like her to come back. I feel like there's this thing where our players go abroad, go play with their national team, and they play really well there. And they come back to the rain, and it doesn't happen quite the same.
Just
fish luck. Yeah.
You want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on from that mess of a situation.
You want to go into more positive Olympics news?
Yeah, we got some really exciting news. We're both, I would say, rugby fans.
Yeah.
A former player for the Mud Hens. And we have some friends who have played. I'm friends with at least one of them who's played for the USA women's rugby team. So we like to follow them. We've been on the train for a while. We're not, we're not joining the hype train this year. We've been on it.
Yeah, shout out to my big rugger, Ashley Kamichik, who used to play on the US 15s team and is very, very good friends with the coach of the USA Women's Sevens team.
They got a bronze medal, which was their first time getting a medal in the Olympics.
First USA rugby team ever to get a medal at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yep. Incredible. And what a
cool.
freaking game.
Yeah, the end of that match.
I thought they were done. So they're down 7-5, or no, 12-7. They were down 12-7 to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And there was literally like, they got possession with maybe like a minute left, maybe a little less. And clock is just moving so quickly. And I'm like, they've got to go another 80 yards up the field, 80 meters up the field. And then, holy crap, they missed tackle. Player stayed on her feet, broke through, absolutely just smoked all the way through to the try zone. Puts it down centrally. Yeah.
It was this was in stoppage time too.
Yeah. As she was running, as she was on her break, the horn went off.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's able to, put the ball down right in good positioning for the kick, and the player that scored the try kicked the ball through for the extra 2 points to win the game.
I watched like the Australia team earlier in the tournament or whatever. They have the two sisters on their team.
Yeah,
they're so good. They're so good. I thought like we would have no chance. Honestly, we played the All Blacks, and I was like watching that game, and it just got out of hand so quickly. I was like, "Fuck, this sucks."
Well, the
I'm
two
not
sisters
surprised.
combined for their Australia's last try.
Okay. Yeah,
know.
those sisters are scary.
Mm-hmm.
They're just so fucking fast, and they're like on the same page about everything because they're sisters. And so it's just like it's so hard to know how to take them on. But yeah, super cool. Obviously, we're huge fans of Ilona. How do you say her last name?
Ilona Maher.
Yeah, Ilona Maher. We're huge fans of Ilona Maher. Have been. Love what she does on social media. Would love it if someone would find her and date her. She's still looking for love.
I know she her like whole Love Island series while she's at the Olympic Village is funny.
Yeah, if she dated women, I mean, the line would be around the globe. But maybe she should go on a dating show. Maybe they should make a new dating show for they should have an Olympics dating show. Why don't we have an Olympian dating show?
I don't know.
Someone needs to get on this.
Hosted by Nikki Stanton.
Yes. You would think it would be a former Olympian, but not this time.
I'm just trying to get Nikki Stanton on a reality show.
I know. We'll keep pushing that. Any other Olympics things that you saw that you were like stoked about?
I mean, U.S. women did win the team all-around gymnastics championship today. Gold medal. Simone Biles, GOAT.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, this is non-women related, but Steven.
Oh, the pommel horse guy.
Pommel horse guy. I watched his routine. I love how he takes his glasses off and then he's just kind of blind.
He's just like
getting into the horse, and then he just fucking tears it up on the pommel horse.
Yeah.
So that was cool for them getting a bronze. First time they've done that in a long time. So I think that wraps up that. Next match for the Reign at Portland, Wednesday, July 31st. This will probably be out maybe before that, probably maybe a little bit after. We'll see how that goes. Previous results for the Summer Cup for them. 5-0 win over Tijuana and a 1-3 loss against Utah. So who knows what will happen.
Yeah. This game's kind of a toss-up.
I'll be curious to see if they just don't want to get embarrassed by Portland again. And so maybe they'll play some other people, not just the kids.
Yeah, that's kind of a game you don't go into questioning your lineup.
No.
As a rivalry game, even though it's a Summer Cup.
Yeah. You don't want to be the reason Portland gets into the next stage.
Yeah.
I think that's probably more of what it would be at this point.
Yeah, I did lurk in the presser today with Laura Harvey, and she was asked about Olo. And Olo apparently is still day-to-day, so
that injury related then?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw some people like trying to start some rumor or something that maybe she was going somewhere else, but
Well, you know,
Yeah.
Laura Harvey's pretty tight-lipped about a lot of stuff, but that's what she characterized Olo at was day to day. So
because if we bring in somebody else and we're still like our roster cap situation with numbers and stuff is really tight. And with this new what?
no, I mean with Alana Cook.
No, there. But if we get someone else in, we were still over even before Alana Cook left.
Yeah, and then we have Ryan Brown.
We're
on
still, and I think we're still
SEI.
over one. Yeah, but I think we're still over one.
I don't know. I'd have to look into it.
Okay. Well, there's a chance we might have to loan somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if someone's going to get loaned out to the new league.
Yeah, maybe some of the players that are roster or on the roster but don't necessarily get rostered.
We'll see. Just something to keep an eye on, I would say.
So we got upcoming events. We've got one.
The Sounder at Heart went independent last year after the whole, was it Vox and everything? And so they're having an anniversary of going independent next month, which the episode will probably be out still in July, but next month, end of the month, Thursday, August 22nd, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Fast Fashion Brewery, which is in Soto, right next to the Filson location. And it's an event, if you want to go, there's tickets for it that just went on sale, but it's only for paid subscribers right now. So if you want to get in on that, you can go ahead to our page and subscribe.
That's sounderatheart.com/thecoolerguild.
Yep, we got a link there. So if you want to go to that, they're going to be doing a live recording of Nos Audietes, I believe, and kind of just a big old gathering of everybody to celebrate Sounder at Heart.
I'm excited. We'll be there.
We will be there. And then also, when you join Sounder at Heart, and if you pay for the subscription, you also get access to our Discord. And there's like a whole community on there of Rain fans. And it's pretty fun. We do like chatting about the Olympics, all sorts of stuff. So it's a good place to be. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on Twitter, Cooler Guild Pod, at Cooler Guild Pod on Twitter. We also started up a Instagram. I don't know that much is happening there yet.
No, nothing. I made the account today. I need to put some media in there, some photos, but we do have an Instagram account now, and that is also the same as the Twitter handle. It's Cooler Guild Pod.
You can email us as always. I know everyone's just sending us emails like crazy. All one of you so far. Email is thecoolerguild@gmail.com.
As always, if you like, subscribe, rate, review the podcast, 5 stars only, please.
Yeah.
We're too small to be able to shoulder less than 5 stars.
Till next time, I'm Coop.
I'm Van.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Agape.
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 It's agape.
Boogie woogie woogie.